Hi and welcome back to the channel, and if you want to know what we've been getting up to this last sort of 6 weeks, stay tuned after this. Hi, welcome to the channel guys, and first of all, a couple of apologies. First one is my next door neighbour is very keen on DIY, so if you do hear any drilling or any hammering, that's just my neighbour. There's nothing else going on here at all. He's got a bit of a fetish for DIY, and unfortunately, always seems to be when I've been on nights or working nights or late or whatever, he starts up. But at the moment, touch wood, he's been a bit quiet. So, but the day's still young. The second apology is apologies for not doing any videos recently. I've been absolutely snowed under with work. Great shout from Mel and Jamie who did the last Marvel video, and that thoroughly enjoyed playing the game at Christmas and sort of getting into the different sort of the comic book theme of the Marvel universe, and that excellent. The Marvel Crisis Protocol game is an excellent game, and I'll talk to you more about that in just a second. So again, apologies for not putting more videos out for them. But while we're on the subject of the channel, huge thank you to all the new subscribers that jumped on board with us this past month. It's been brilliant. Thank you for all your support and that you're showing us, as well as all our existing subscribers who continue to support us and what we're doing. And on that note, what we're doing in the future, and I'll talk a little bit more about this on the outro, there is going to be some slight changes to the channel coming up, but and I will say I'll talk a bit more about that on the outro. So what's today's video all about? Things we've been getting up to. You might remember that we spoke about doing the Hoth game for Easter. Well, we've made a start. Put together the Hoth troopers, and that has all gone together, and a few of them have been painted up, and you'll get to see them very shortly. Well, not in this video, but in a future video. But we've had to postpone that, and the reason for that is I've decided this year that we weren't going to go to Salute. And those salutes been moved forward now till November this year. We already had our hotel booked from last year. Obviously, ticket we already had. When we went to go and obviously sort of confirm the booking for the date, it was at the 11th of November, I think it is. And noticed they almost charging 3 times extra on top of what we already paid. I took the decision. I said to Mel, I am not paying that. I'm not paying, you know, overinflated prices and that. So for us this year, there will be no Salute. I'm not going down that road of paying those prices. So what have I done? As we didn't go to a show last year, and we're not going to probably go to many shows this year, depending obviously with the coronavirus and vaccinations and that, I decided, you may remember the Christmas video, I alluded to the Dark Angels army. Well, it's been 5 editions. Since 4th edition for me was when I really heavily was into 40k. 5th edition, when Alessio wrote it, I was not enamoured, to be honest with you. I could see the direction it was going, and I've slowly waned off of 40k ever since. So 4th edition for me was always the best edition. But having seen some of the new models that are coming out, I'm quite excited, and I've recently bought the new Dark Angels Codex, and I have to say, it looks really, really good. I hope, again, touch wood, I hope that the actual 9th edition rules plays better than what they have done in the past. I mean, to me, they're all tournament based and they're all marine based anyway, but I mean, that's not our style of game in any way. But what I've done is, Mel, Jamie, myself, we've been thrashing together this last few weeks when I've not been working, and put together around a 6,000 point Dark Angels army. And like I said, I'm going to treat myself and I'm going to get it commission painted. And the reason I'm going to get it commission painted, because if I don't, it'll be another 5 or 6, 7 editions before I get the army out on the table. So again, it's because I didn't go to a show last year, we didn't go away on holiday last year, that's my treat to myself. It's not like it was my birthday last month and that, and so I thought, well, it's a birthday present for myself, along with a couple of other things that I've bought. And so there we have it. So that's what's happening. That's what we've been doing. So some of our original projects have been postponed. What we have done, and what Mel's done for me, as I said, it was my birthday last month, and she bought for me, as you can see, the current models you can get for the X-Men for the Marvel Crisis Protocol. Now, obviously, you've got this one here. You've got Wolverine, Sabretooth, Cyclops and Storm, Mystique and Beast, and Magneto and Toad. And I'll spin the camera around shortly and I'll actually give you a close-up of all these miniatures. And I have to say, I'm going to just sort of just hold them up and that to the camera there. They are some superb miniatures and that. I'll just keep that one there for you. And then, you know, the game itself, I can't sort of stress how much fun it really is. And it does give you that sort of comic book spandex-driven game. Like, you know, it's really, really good fun. So, and the other thing that I purchased for myself recently, I put them over there to one side, and I had to wait till it come, and it's only recently come this weekend, and that was the bundle deal that Warlord were doing, which was Victory at Sea, Hardback Rulebook, and I bought the Royal Navy Fleet. And the reason I bought the Royal Navy Fleet is I had family who served in Force H down through the Mediterranean and that in the Second World War. So I want to try, with the models that they've got, is to recreate Force H's down through the Med and fighting the Italians, come German sort of air forces and things like that. But this book, I have to say, is a really nice book. And I've only had a quick flick through of the actual book and that, but I'll have to say, hats off to Warlord. You've done a superb job on production of this book. Really, really nice hardback book. And as I said, I'll spin the camera around, we'll take a look at all what's been going on. So first up here we have Wolverine and Sabretooth. As you can see here, it's depicted with Wolverine in his yellow sort of suit that he wears in his comic book strip, as opposed to what the sort of more modern films and that depict him as wearing. Wolverine himself, you had a choice of heads. You could have put his mask on or had him sort of with his mask off. I preferred him with his mask off. It looks a bit more sort of fierce, mean and you know. So yeah, these are really, really spot on, and I think Mel's done a fantastic job to him. So if you excuse me, husband, I'll just swap the two figures over a minute. And next up we have the mighty man himself. Here he is. It's his Magneto. And he has a henchman, Toad. And obviously Toad with his tongue that can lashes out and that, and sort of trap you with that in his tongue. And obviously with Magneto and that, his mind control and that is really good. And obviously he's got the helm on that. You know, absolutely beautiful animations on these figures. And these two sort of pieces here are just sort of depicting where he's picking stuff up and he's manipulating them and doing what he normally does, Magneto does. Lovely figures, and they're not cheap, they are expensive for what they are, but they're a lot of fun. So yeah, and as I say, there's Toad. I'll just move that back there, and there's Toad there, and I think brilliant little character and that, you know, he's sort of dapping about and that all over the scenes and that in the comics and that, causing mischief. And but yeah, really, really nice. So I'll just swap these over again. I'll put the next set up for you. Those fingers. And the next set we've got Storm and Cyclops. Now again, Cyclops obviously wears the mask over his eyes. He can shoot out a bolt of light from his eyes. And Storm, she can conjure up obviously sort of snow and that sort of rain, thunderstorms and that. Very, very iconic. Again, as you can see from the films and that, she is very much like that in the cartoons and that. Brilliant, absolutely great character and that. Cyclops, Cyclops is one of those characters that he wants to lead, and I don't think he wants to lead. If you know, it's one of those sort of strange sort of predicaments, I think, you know. But yeah, he's always sort of like, he's always been rated as the second best sort of thing. Like, you know, Wolverine is the man, though, isn't it? If you're a man of the hour, Wolverine. But again, these are beautiful figures and that, and again, make up obviously the X-Men crew. And so swap those over a second. And last up, we have Mystique and Beast. They are awesome. I do like Beast and Mystique. Again, in the film, I think they portrayed Mystique, and say like the original films they've done, and obviously the prequel films, they portray Mystique really, really well. That sort of mysterious character who really wants to be good, and obviously falls into the wrong sort of plans and just follows Magneto around, and obviously you know the stories from there. And Beast, again, quality character. Again, another one that's underestimated in the comics and that. Again, he's got a wealth of a brain on him. You know, he does solve a lot of problems, a lot of puzzles and that. But again, you don't want to upset him, get on his wrong side. But yeah, these are beautiful. And again, we will get some games on the table, just some battle reports and that, just to show you guys and that how we play the game and that. So there we have it. That is all the Marvel Crisis Protocol Mel bought for me and Jamie bought for me my birthday and painted them up for me. And I'm really, really grateful to them for doing that. And thanks very much to them. So there we are, guys. What I'm going to do is do a very quick sort of overview of the book and that, show you in that. And what I would do is, if you want to see a more detailed look at the book, I'll put another video out and I'll just go through it a little bit slower, just so you can sort of see what's going on. But basically, the book itself is huge. I mean, what, over 270 pages? Look, I mean, again, I mean, it's very, very, very well put together, worth the money. And as I said, it's full of, I mean, at the back of the book, you've got all the basic sort of nations, from the Japanese, Italians, French, Germans, Americans, and obviously the Royal Navy. Absolutely well put together book. As I said, I'm going to sort of flick through it now, and as I said, I can put another video out if you guys want, and I'll do a sort of show you more of an overview of the pages and what's involved and what's in the book itself. But I just wanted to show you this book itself. It is, I'm really, really impressed by it. Lots of scenarios and that in there, and obviously the rules, the core rules and the additional rules. I think most of the rules in that are the same what came in the pamphlet book. I think I might have just elaborated a little bit more definition on some bits, but from what I've seen so far, it's the same. And then, so at the beginning of the book, it just goes through the various sort of theatres of war: the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Mediterranean, etc. But yeah, so there we are, guys. That is the sort of War at Sea book that I bought myself. The ships, the Royal Navy fleet, I can show you them if you want me to, but I think there's a lot of unboxings of that fleet on YouTube already. I don't think I'd be able to do anything different with that. I have had them out of the box, and the only thing I will say is the destroyers, they're a little bit wobbly on the bases, which I've had issues with the starter set ones. The moulding on them is a little bit off, but other than that, so that's Victory at Sea and Rulebook, and we'll see you for the outro, and where we sort of talk about what we're taking the channel forward in the future. So what did you think of that then, guys? Victory at Sea, Warlord Games have really, really done a good job on that book, as I said before. Really excited to get that going and sort of building up the Royal Navy fleet, and then obviously later on I should get the Italian fleet to go with it. Can't wait, really, really excited for that. But unfortunately, even I've got to wait, because obviously there's a couple of other projects that are just sneaking in the way. And there's a couple of things that I'm working with a couple of other producers and that I can talk about in the near future. So more to come on certain projects and other projects. Marvel Crisis Protocol, really love the figures. I've always been interested in the cartoon and that. So as a kid, and that, I used to read the comics and things like that. You know, it's just what's not to like. It's bright, it's colourful, it's happy, and especially in these days at the moment, you know, it brings a smile to your face, and it's just a bit of fun. But so I said at the beginning of the video that we were going to take a different direction. The channel was going to move in a slightly different direction, and I'll briefly sort of give you an idea. We've decided to close our blog. The blog will close, I think it's the early part of April, thinking about it. We don't renew the subscription to it then, I think it is, yeah. And what we're going to do in after that is, or around that time, is we're going to open up a Facebook group. You'll also notice we're talking about it in a moment of changing the name slightly. Again, I won't give away what we're going to do, but at the moment, because it's not been finalised, but we're probably going to change the name slightly and open up a Facebook group. And the idea of the Facebook group is to invite you guys to join us. You know, join us in what we're doing, sharing your hobby, sharing our hobby, and hopefully meeting up and we can have some games. It's going to be, we want it to be a meeting point, a way of actually getting together, organising games, and if we can put on some games and sort of create, we can get 2 or 3 people who can come to play games with us here at the bunker, then that's what our plan is going forward. You know, so we are sort of looking at sort of various sort of different things of how to sort of push the channel a little bit further and expanding it and sort of widen the scope of what we can do and offer you guys. At the same time as hopefully we can, you know, you guys within the group can also do the same things yourself. So it's going to be a central meeting point, and that's what we want to do. I've met some great people here on YouTube. and I'd love to, and I'm on Facebook, and I'd love to meet up with you guys and I'd play some games and have a laugh, have a beer with, and certainly, you know, throw down some dice. Hope I get better dice, but you know, my dice recently has been pants. But but one final thought before I go. But as I said, just going back on that a minute. So that's what that's the interim plan at the moment. Again, more of that as soon as we sort of come out with that and sort of finalise the details of that a little bit more. One thing I want to say though before I go. Last week I was invited by Dave Phipps of Pulp to play a second game over on his channel. I'll leave a link to the game below in the description below. You've got to watch it. What an epic game, right to the wire, and I'm not going to give anything away. It was a fantastic game. Well, if you're going to be doing some painting, what I'm doing some modelling, stick that video on and have a watch of that. And I cannot stress enough what a game it was. The stress and the tension in a fun way was awesome, absolutely awesome. So good shout out to Dave Phipps of Pulp. Thank you very much, mate, for a second invite for the game. Look forward to hooking up with you again, and hopefully once all this coronavirus has sorted itself out, we can invite you in, get some better internet out in the bunker, and invite you in to play a game. So that's it for today, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as I said, apologies for not putting on a video a lot sooner. I've been thoroughly enjoying what you guys are doing. There's some epic work out there. Sean's new sort of Warmaster 10 mil stuff, brilliant. Johnny Watson's gaming channel done some brilliant video on I think it's called Excellent Miniatures, and they are excellent miniatures for Warmaster for fantasy. Thanks for that, Johnny, and everyone else. What you're doing, been really enjoying everything. Von Ketteringham, and look what you're doing with your Lion Rampant. And as I said, thanks everyone for supporting us, and we really do appreciate it. And if you want to continue to support us, don't forget to click that like, share and subscribe, and hit the notification button to make sure it reminds you when we post up another video. And until next time, guys, stay safe, happy wargaming.